This is the Rap Soup Podcast. No idea what we're doing, but we're going to start it off by discussing our top 5 albums of the year. We averaged them all out, and we'll also go over 6 through 10, but yeah, let's just jump into it. Our average,
All right.
okay, so our average top 5 were number 5 was Cheat Codes by Black Thought and Danger Mouse, Drill Music in Zion by Lupe Fiasco, Soul Sold Separately by Freddie Gibbs, The Forever Story by Jid, and number 1 was Mr. Morale and The Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar. And we'll talk about them going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then after that, we'll discuss 6 through 10 a little bit. Yeah, Cheat Codes.
Nick had it as the number 1 album of the year for himself, which I didn't think anybody was going to do. But, the more you listen to it, it's like, how can this not be? It's so good. It's like the best thing the best rapper possibly ever has put out. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the more time goes on, I think that our rankings will definitely change and there will be like a shift. Some that aren't even in the top 10 might move up to the top 10, and then Cheat Codes might go from 5 closer to like 1, might move up higher. Yeah, Cheat Codes, like top 2 production of the year. Danger Mouse is crazy. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I saw that they were working on that album since like 2006. So like 16, 17 years or whatever. The album cover's crazy. That was the first thing when I clicked on it. It was like, all right, this is probably going to be pretty nuts. And then, yeah, Black Thought's like the most, he's top 3 most underrated of all time when it comes to like lyricism. A lot of his flows are kind of the same, but his lyrics are so good that like his rhyming, it just doesn't really matter. And then the features are really good too. Like Conway the Machine is on there. Russ's was pretty good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Joey Badass on that song is unreal.
Yeah. Dude, the samples they use too. I got to dig into it more and figure out those songs that they sampled because it's like some of the best production. It's like it has such a unique feel to it. It sounds like it's a bunch of samples from like the probably 60s. It's like soul. What's that one song? Like mini Ripperton culture, that kind of shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dude, and it just fits Black Thought so well.
Yeah. It's like the whole
theme is perfect.
Yeah, the theme is perfect. It fits perfect to the album art. It fits perfect to his lyrics. It fits perfect to pretty much everything. It's like as good as an album as it could get. And if it came out in any other year, it would probably be like certified number 1. But this year was the best year of rap maybe ever. So I guess it ended up in 5. Nick had it 1. Mike, what did you have it at?
I had it at 5.
I had it at 5, and then I don't even think Dylan had it in there. So Nick ranking it as 1, put it at 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it would have been like 6 or 7 in our average. But yeah.
Yeah. I just want to throw in that the first single from the album was Strangers with ASAP and Run the Jewels.
Yeah.
And those 4 guys on one song.
Yeah.
It was just guaranteed to be one of the craziest albums I've ever heard.
Yeah. And it's pretty cool that they put in ASAP Rocky on there because you'd never really picture him being the 4th guy in a song with Black Thought and Run the Jewels. He did really good though. He kept up. This was, dude, ASAP Rocky.
He's going all out with the features this year. Well, yeah, last year.
Absolutely.
ASAP's features this year, I have higher hopes than ever for his next album, whenever that is. Probably this year, right?
Oh, yeah. Did you hear
It's looking like it.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I was pretty into it.
Yeah.
It was pretty Travis Scott, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. All right.
Dude, this also just feels like a culmination of like his entire career wrapped up into one album. Because like you said, having it allegedly working on it for 16, 17 years or what,
Oh
It
yeah.
could have came out 16 years ago and it would have sounded new then. It comes out in 2022. Still sounds new. It's like
Yeah.
he's timeless. He has a lengthy discography of some of, the albums themselves aren't always like, they're not big albums, but the people that love it absolutely love it because it is some of the best stuff that has ever been rapped on
Yeah.
Yeah.
on a track.
Yeah.
When
It's
you
it's
dive
dude.
into Danger Mouse,
It'll
like
honestly
he
probably go
does
down.
not do that many full albums, and like him picking to do a full album for Black Thought, I think just speaks to how good Black Thought is as an
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah,
And we
absolutely.
forgot to mention the MF Doom feature too, Posthumous.
Yeah.
That was recorded in the like that 2005 2006 era when like Danger Doom, that album. That must be
Hmm.
a leftover verse that didn't make it on there, and it's still
Yeah.
perfect, like you said. Like it could have came out then and it was new. Came out now, feels new, like
Mhm.
good as it gets.
Dude, when you're that good, you're timeless. That's just how it works. 'Cause dude, his rapping style, it's like, it's not, it never like molds to what's going on at the time. Like, it is Black Thought till the day he dies. It's him. Doesn't need to sound like anything else, but it's going to sound like him and it's going to be good.
Yeah, he's been on a rampage since that freestyle in 2017 with Hot 97, Funkmaster Flex. I remember being in college and that came out. Nick, you and I were sitting on the couch freaking out at it, playing 2K.
Oh yeah.
Minute freestyle. It's just berserk. All right. Our number 4 album of the year was Drill Music in Zion by Lupe Fiasco. From the first listen, it was certified in my top 5 pretty much. It was hard not to put it even top 2, but this was such a crazy year for rap. I watched an interview with him recently, and he was talking about how all these instrumentals and beats were, I'm pretty sure, made in GarageBand by Soundtrack, the producer. And I guess Soundtrack was sending him all these beats and like files, and he was just saving them. He'd just listen to them and just kind of save them on his computer. And during COVID, apparently he said that Soundtrack almost died, and he's like, "What the hell am I doing? Not like we should have. If something happened and he died, like what? Like I should just take advantage of all this stuff because you have limited time here, whatever he said." And one by one, sometime in like 2019 or 20 or whatever, in the past few years since COVID, he just opened the files up one by one, and that's how the album was made. Like he just would listen to an instrumental in his room by himself, and I'm pretty sure he said he recorded it in like 72 hours by himself, and then he sent it all back to Soundtrack, and it still was this good, even though it was like the manner in which they were doing it was almost like kids on their computer, like us trying to make this podcast, but instead the result was like maybe, I think, Lupe's best album yet. The verbosity and completeness is kind of what I've been waiting for from him. He reaches GOAT status. Like he's certified. He's also along with Black Thought, one of the most underrated of all time. And yeah, just that story I just told about how they made it. It kind of seems somewhat unorganized, yet it turned out so beautiful. So
Yeah, I think that just speaks volumes to Lupe's talent.
Yeah.
That like no matter what you put in front of him, like he'll just bust it out and it'll be the best thing you've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Dude, because you like we're 26, 27. It's like the only like mainstream Lupe we've ever seen is like the show goes on and all that. But then it's like, oh, these are catchy radio songs. Like they're good. But then if you dive into what he's actually like producing, like making on his own, that aren't like the popular songs, it's like the themes that he's discussing. It's hard, it's heavy, and so abstract. You listen to a lot of songs, like you gotta figure out exactly what they're saying right away. You gotta read the lyrics to Lupe's songs because the concepts are so foreign. But if you actually pay attention to what's going on, everything makes sense. Even though if it seems gibberish right off the first, it all makes sense. It's like these similes and metaphors for things that you're like,
yeah, he's so verbose. He's
so smart.
so good at rapping that he's teaching a course on rap at MIT right now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see someone else do that.
and I also heard him say in that interview I was referring to earlier that the way that dude the album cover's crazy. You know the pyramid or triangle with all the yellow and the red. All his album covers since what's that album with Shogo? The 2011 one, like his last top one. All his album covers have been pretty crazy, but this one immediately stood out. The yellow was like popped right out, and you're like just looking at the cover art, you knew it was going to be good probably. But I guess he was at like some art fair or art depot of sorts, and they were just like filing through pictures, and they just were like, yeah, let's just use this, and then it fits perfectly with what they had made too.
Yeah, I think when you see that cover, you know exactly what you're getting into. And he doesn't miss a beat the whole time.
No. It's a little dude, it's pretty I mean it's an album kind of referring to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna
Also crazy, the first time I listened to it, I was late listening to it, whatever. The last song was I listened to it the same day Takeoff died, and the first thing he says was on Phonem, I believe that song. It's just like rappers die too much. That's it. That's the verse, and I had to pause it. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
yeah.
It's
Like this day, absolutely.
I remember you texted that. I was on a walk at work on like my lunch break, and you were like, dude, crazy that I just listened to this for the first time, given what's going on last night or
Right.
something.
I had to take a step back. It fucked me up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because he knows what he's like the most enlightened. Like Dylan was saying, how it's like this. What's the term he used? Like not above all, but like almost like a know-it-all type of thing. But
Yeah.
I don't necessarily look at it like that.
It comes off pretentious.
Pretentious, yeah.
You know,
If you haven't like,
it works.
yeah, if you haven't dived into it before, it might sound like pretentious, but you're just dealing with a wordsmith with Chicago influences, all the brass instrument. Track is tapping the drums, Crystal's blowing the brass. Sounds like you're at the Green Mill. Sounds like you're at like a jazz. It's like they're adding not trap drums, but you know.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect combination of fun and like banging stuff that you could just play in your car, and also like super conscious rap.
Yeah.
And a lot of the songs, it's both in one. You know, it's like not a lot of people are able to do that, to actually, have something you want to play out of your speakers, but also have something that's like you're going to think deeply about. It's not just a bunch of surface level rap.
Yeah, Lupe's the least surface level rap guy. It's all deep, it's all meaningful. There's always a message. And even
there's no filler words, there's no filler lines, there's no filler songs. Everything there is there because it's supposed to be there, and it's meant to be there, and it's meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was also nice to get like 40 minutes, when his last one's like over 2 hours.
Yeah.
A little easier to digest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2018 album's hard to listen to, but it's still really good. Like Manila and all those songs. All right. Number 3, we have Soul Sold Separately. It's worth listening to the bonus edition because he added like 5, 6, 7 of his singles that he's put out since 2021, and they all fit on there perfectly by Freddie Gibbs we're talking about. It is a lot of the same content and lyrical themes, but it sounds bigger. The production it starts off with Couldn't Be Done, and it's almost like a Jay-Z level sound from like the early mid 2000s, just that big, larger than life kind of sound. As always, crazy flows and cadences. And I think right now, Freddie Gibbs has been peaking since 2019. Obviously, Bandana is like an all-time album. Alfredo is kind of gotten the recognition that he's been worthy of. And yeah, we saw his. We were at his first concert that he's had since this album for sure. Maybe even since Alfredo. Did he even have any concerts during? Oh no, that yeah,
I do. He did.
Stuff. So never,
yeah,
it was just his first since his album, and it was a top 3 rap concert I've been to next to Eminem and Run the Jewels. It was so good. He's so good. There's so many acapellas, and it just he sounded so good, and like it's like wow, this guy is like almost 40 years old, and he's this good at rapping. Yeah, it kind of set up like the Sold Separately is like it's the Triple S Hotel. It's like a hotel casino kind of Las Vegas vibe going, and there's a bunch of not interludes, but at the end of songs there'd be like phone messages and some comedians on there. He's so funny. He has to be the funniest rapper.
Without him, and I would say him and Danny Brown should be doing stand up on alongside their rap career.
Yeah,
because they'll make you crack up like no one else.
Yeah,
it's incredible. Every skit on the album is like I actually laughed at, which has never happened before.
Yeah, the Jeff Ross skit is all time. That was the funniest thing I've ever heard on a rap album.
I was into the Joe Rogan one too. Is funny.
Absolutely.
Jesus one.
Yeah, dude.
They're all good.
Dude, he's hard, he's vapid, but it's just so interesting. It's so fun to listen to, dude. Not a lot of people have. It's a combination of his flow and his voice that just draws you in so hard, and you just want to listen to what he has to say. Even though a lot of time it's just kind of about crack and women, but that's fine. Crack rap's great.
Yeah,
it's very different than like Lupe's album, but it doesn't make it any less worse because it's more full of like bangers and it's easier to consume.
Above Lupe's album, so
yeah. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, Freddie Gibbs has probably made like 1,000 songs to date, and every single one is completely different from each other. And I feel like even on this album where he kind of took on a more mainstream sound from the Mad Lib and Alchemist production he's been doing lately, he still managed to make every song unique. And
yeah.
It's so fun to listen to.
It's super complete. At first, upon my first listen, it wasn't my favorite. But once you listen to it a few times, it's probably my second or third favorite Freddie album. Bandana is probably always going to be one. It's the album that like made me realize how crazy he was. But yeah, Sold Separately is right there with Alfredo. Probably better, if we're being honest. It's longer. Different themes, bunch of different producers. Got some DJ Paul stuff going on, some Memphis, Houston, crunk beats or whatever they're called.
Yeah, he's good at getting sounds from a bunch of different locations. Like it's not like I don't know exactly know what a Gary, Indiana sound would be, but like
It's him.
His sound is like across the country. It's it could be in California, it could be in New York, could be in Memphis, could be in Texas, and it all sounds like it fits.
Yeah,
He does it all.
he created his own sound.
And he could
He's
sing
one of
too.
the
Yeah, he can sing.
crazy voice, so deep.
So deep. I love it.
Dude, it's even deeper in person. When he talks on stage, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like Tyler the Creator level deep. It's messy. It's like how does a voice sound like this?
Yeah, dude, I was freaking out about how white his teeth were too. When the lights were shining on it, it was like all dark, and the lights were on him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm fucked up."
It is white.
Yeah, that man was wasted at his show.
Yeah,
Oh my
wasted
God.
and did so good at the same time.
Wasted
And all his
didn't
friends there.
affect him at all. Probably made
Yeah.
it better.
Yeah, dude, I was just reading something earlier about Jim Morrison, how every time when he'd go on stage, he'd be so drunk and messed up and probably all on heroin. He'd get through a couple songs and then the show would just end. Freddie would wasted up there. I mean, you got to think of his first show, first time playing his new album. He's in his home city. He had 25 of his best friends sitting behind him, playing along. Wasted, probably partying all day, all night. Gets on stage and just blows everyone away.
Yeah,
He's having a
Like
blast.
no slurring, no like messing up.
perfect.
Just quality rap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of as good as rap gets live, dude. And it's,
Yeah.
so many rappers don't sound good. That's why rap concerts haven't always been my favorite. But like, he's right up there with like. He sounds so good that you could put him next to Eminem and Run the Jewels. Like that's how good he sounded live. Like that's when you're good live, when you sound close to how you do or the same as how you do on your albums, on the recordings, that's when you know you're an all-timer. Because
Hey, and I have so much more respect for you when that happens.
yeah,
Because if you need a backtracking the whole time for your rap show, you're probably just not that good of a rapper on stage, and that's fine. You make bangers and whatever, but like, I want to hear you rap.
Yeah.
And that's what he gave us. And that's what he gave us through the entire album.
super talented.
Yeah. We love Freddie Gibbs here.
Yeah, Freddie Gibbs is like our number one post 2008, right?
I would say so.
He's one of them. He's up there. Since COVID, we've been the number one Freddie Gibbs and Griselda.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Number two, our average number two was The Forever Story by Jid. I think that The Forever Story just proves that Jid is now the top rapper of his generation. I don't really think there's any arguing that anymore. His debut was 2017. I think he's been putting out mixtapes since the early 2010s. But yeah, I think he's totally the top. He's the leader now. He's number one for the next 5 to 10 years. He's going to be how Kendrick has been the past 10 years. As long as he doesn't go the singing route and the softer route, as long as he keeps, he has like a mass appeal, dude. He makes like the softer songs where he sings, and like the more general audience kind of likes maybe radio music or like Rap Caviar type of stuff from Spotify. Dude, he's a big deal. We started listening to him when his monthly listeners were at what, like 800,000 a month, and now he's at like 30 million. Because
he blew up.
He blew up. He keeps getting better. He could do the.
I think that number was inflated because of that song he is with Imagine Dragons, though.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got like 1 billion plays on Spotify. But
Jesus.
he's still, I mean, his concert's in like 3 months here, and it's sold out. So
yeah, I mean, if you get
and secondhand prices are.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a big deal.
I am not into the Imagine Dragons at all, but like if you get on a song, if you're as good as him and you get on a song with them, that's great.
Yeah, just getting recognized by them is
that's a lot of people.
Big deal.
Yeah, I think it'll keep up. Yeah, like I was saying though, for those who like the verbosity and the crazy rapping, he appeals to those people, and then he also appeals to the people who are more into like the pop aspect of rap. Everything's different. Like this album just appeals to everyone more so than like DiCaprio 2 and The Never Story. Those were kind of more like underground and for people that were really into rapidy rap. But this one was like, he proved that he could do it. He could make the pop hits, shake ass music, deeper music, and it's just all the way through. It's so complete. He ends the album with that song about where he was at in like 2007 when he decided he was going to go this route, and you have his dad talking about it and like the path he took to get here. They have J. Cole talk about how he did it, and yeah, I don't know. You just have to listen to it because, I mean, I would think that for the average listener, out of all the ones in our top 5, if the average listener listened to all those, I would think that the average person would choose The Forever Story as their favorite.
If they had no biases towards anyone else, because obviously album number 1, I think you're going to get a lot more Kendrick fans that are going to automatically pick Kendrick.
Yeah.
But if you like didn't know,
No, yeah. I'm talking if you took like some kid in like some sophomore, junior in high school that doesn't really have any bias, I think that he'll like The Forever Story and Soul Sold Separately the most, but I would think maybe Jid.
Yeah. Dude,
Realistically, they
little
probably
man with a powerful voice.
Yeah,
He really has honed in skills and just had created something I wasn't expecting it to be this good. Like I like Jid a lot. Everything he's put out, I've enjoyed. But to put out something this strong blew my mind out. I was like, this is as impressive as it gets.
yeah,
Like
he
this is what we need. This is when you hear this, it's like all of the years from like 5+ years ago when rap was not in its best state, and then looking back at what we got now, especially like with this, just makes you feel good about rap. It's like he's elevating everyone else.
exactly, dude.
he
21
kept
Savage, great.
the flows and like the speedy rapping that he's always had, but then he made it so much more personal and started
Hmm.
telling stories from his past and how he feels about his family and stuff. And it was awesome to listen to because you get to hear him go off on the mic, and then you could also listen to what he's saying and get a completely different experience.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Hmm.
And then there's also thumpers mixed in, like surround sound. That's one of the most fun songs of the year. Dude, like you just said, he elevates everyone. 21 Savage is so elevated on that song. Sampling Most Def's Miss Fat Booty, which comes from Aretha Franklin. I forget the name of the song, but it's from the 60s.
Yeah,
Most Def and
the way
Jid.
they use that sample in the beginning, and then they use it at the beat switch, but it's like slowed down or whatever they did to it, like
Yeah, trap drums.
crazy, insane.
And
Yeah, and you could just hear how much harder people try when they're getting on his songs because they know they have to put in their best work or they're gonna get outshadowed so hard and embarrassed on the song that like it's the same thing like when you hear people get on like Eminem songs, like they try harder because they know the level that Jid's gonna put into like the amount of effort Jid's gonna put into it, how high level his rapping is gonna be, and it's like you don't want to look stupid, you don't want to just put some bad verse on one of his songs. It's A, he's probably not gonna use it, or B, everyone should be just think less of you because Jid's out, verse or whatever is just so good.
yeah, and also it was pretty cool going back to the surround sound thing, how he sampled Most Def, Miss Fat Booty with Aretha Franklin and stuff. He put Most Def, who goes by Yassine Bey now, further onto the album, like one of the higher or lower tracks. Forget the name of the song, but Most Def
Mars.
there too.
That song was so good.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So our number one, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick. Um, the first listen, the night it came out, Nick, when we got back from the White Sox game, I was freaking out.
Hmm.
I've never liked. I don't think it may or may not be the best Kendrick album, or my favorite, I should say. But upon first listen, it hits so hard. It is so brutally honest. He's rapping pretty crazy, not as crazy as he has, but like the content and the themes of the album, it's just so honest that like I could see why it might not be the public's favorite Kendrick album. I also think it's the best production of the year. It sounds so big time. But yeah,
It's like
just
a whole like presentation. It's not just like an album. It's like a whole experience.
it's a whole
Hmm.
experience. You can't. It's like you have to sit down and listen all the way through, and it hits really hard. There's
Yeah.
Yeah.
uncomfortable stuff. There's some dude. Kendrick's just the most honest rapper.
He's the only
Hmm.
one that could sit there and put every single thought he's had over 5 years into words in like 75 minutes.
Yeah,
No one else can do that.
Yeah. That's sick.
And like get
Yeah,
to
and
across that quickly.
yeah, and it's an unbelievably strong album. I think some of the songs in there as like standalone songs, like if you're scrolling through your Spotify looking for songs, a lot of songs in there that you probably won't play alone. But when you put them together, it's something you gotta listen to front to back because it's all connected so perfectly, and it's the way that it flows from start to end with fun and seriousness. It's like picking and choosing individual songs to listen to doesn't do them justice when compared to when you listen to it in full. It's like he made a song about him and a girl fighting, screaming at each other, and it's listenable, like it's good. Like not you're not gonna get that a lot.
No,
Yeah.
it
He put an actress on a song, not even a rapper, as a feature.
she did so good.
Yeah,
And
he killed it.
Oh, okay. I'm into this.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
not.
the first time you hear it, it was shock value to the max. And
Cool.
the first time that played, you're like, "What is going on?" And then you rewind it, and then the music video comes out, and you get a visual of it, and you're like, "Oh, this is actually something. This is pretty good."
Yeah, good terminology, Mike. That's to sum it up. There's shock value in this album.
Oh, yeah.
hmm Yeah, anti-diaries. Like, who else is rapping about their family member becoming transgender?
No,
No one.
Wild.
No one.
No.
And it's good. It's like it's you feel it's coming from his heart. Like you feel the soul and everything. It's
Mhm.
him. It's unapologetically him.
the way he looks at things is very. I don't want to say like a woke, but he's more than that. He's more realistic. That's why I'm saying the general audience, where the state of where people are at right now, they might not like this one as much as they've liked things in the past. Like Good Kid, Mad City, classic. Most people like that. That's what got him noticed. To Pimp a Butterfly, renowned. Everyone thinks that's one of the best of all time. Damn, Pulitzer Prize level. But this was like a different level of themes and the content. And dude, that's all it is brutally honest, while being the
Yeah.
music of the year at the same time. Like,
He said he's. I feel like he's more honest on his album than I am with myself at times. It's unbelievable.
yeah,
Yeah. He pretty much treated it as a therapy session.
hmm
yeah. It's a therapy session. That video and Count Me Out. He's in his in the music video. He's at the therapist,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which everyone should be doing.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to go to therapy.
Yeah. All right, that's our top 5, our average. Number 5, Cheat Codes. Number 4, Drill Music in Zion. Number 3, Soul Sold Separately. It's worth listening to the bonus edition on that one. Number 2, Forever Story. Number 1, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Do you guys want to get into 6 through 10 at all? Or should we do a separate
Yeah.
podcast for that?
My computer's about to die.
How is it about to die?
Because you took my charger.
Oh. Want me to?
No, we could talk about that on a different time
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's all different. But
This is our first one. It's probably going to be our worst too, but I feel like we didn't do too bad.
if this is our worst, then we are looking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought,
It was fine.
yeah,
Good. Yeah, we should dude, this year was so good for rap that we should do like a summit review part 2 where we talk about like West.
yeah, we got like 10, 15 more albums that we have strong opinions about, but
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a
It's-
part 2 to this.
all right,
Okay.
Yeah.
all right, bring it home.
Yeah. This is Rap Soup, first podcast. Thanks for sitting through this. If you did, thanks for making it this. Yeah, we might change the name of it pretty soon, but right now it's just the Rap Soup podcast. We're gonna launch our website pretty soon. We're gonna start posting more stuff on social media, Instagram, TikTok, all that shit. So yeah, we will upload this soon and share the links to all our stuff. And yeah, hopefully you guys check out these albums if you haven't, and moving forward as well. So we're kind of huge hip hop nerds or heads or whatever you want to call us. So turning a hobby into a podcast, I guess.
Yeah, and if you are this far, top 5 albums for you of the last year, Comments. Let's
Comments.
go.
Yeah.
Let me hear them.
List your thoughts. List your top 5, top 10 albums of the year. Let's engage in some hip hop discourse.
Yeah, we'll be responding. We'll be talking.
Yeah, you'll get.
We'll let you know.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
don't have anything better to do.
Yeah. Let's check this out. See how we did, and then let's do a part 2.
All right.
Man,
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
peace.